Ladies and gentlemen, this is Soap Boxer Podcast.
Who did you turn professional with?
Hey y'all, good morning. This is Jiffy Morales with Soapboxing Podcast, and I'm here with two very special guests. Derek is now a guest. He will be interviewed. He is not a host this morning. So please give a round of applause. Where's the sound bites? Do we do round of applause?
We used to do it.
All right. So obviously this is Soapboxing Podcast, so we interview boxers, and I'm here with someone who is very special. If you don't know her, you will get to know her. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Summer Polk. I'm an amateur boxer, family girl, and I'm 19 years old. And I just love boxing.
All right, cool. And who are you, sir?
Oh, me?
Uh,
I'm the world's okayest boxing coach. Gary Collinsworth.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us this morning, or joining me this morning. It's very early. Hopefully people are tuned in, but if not, the link will still be available for people to watch back. Summer, what's your full name, your real name, or your real name?
Dang, you had to start off with that one? All right. My full name is Kimari Summer Polk, but I go by Summer because people slaughtered my first name. So
Yeah,
it's really not even that hard though.
it's cute, Kimari.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Yeah, I used to not like that name, so that's when I started going by Summer. It's just easier for everybody. So,
Is Summer your middle name?
yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
Oh, who gave you your name?
Kimari. I think my aunt named me Kimari, and my mom gave me Summer.
It's a cute combination, Kimari.
Thank you. I grew up not liking it, so
Yeah, well, now you've grown into it.
yeah.
And you know what? I always say, like, people can tell like when somebody's gonna be like famous or like a celebrity based on like how their name is. I feel like my name is like it flows like Jiffy Morales. Like that's a name that everybody has to know, right?
Right, exactly.
And
I
yours
feel you.
too. So even if you do go by Kimari Summer Polk, like say my full name. Like it's a cute name.
Thank you.
And you said you're 19 years old?
Yes. Gonna be 20 in January.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
How do you say like your childhood was?
My childhood, it was pretty normal. I grew up around a lot of family. I got a lot of cousins, so I'm very family oriented. I love family get-togethers. It's like one of my favorite things. My childhood was pretty good. I played with a lot of boys growing up because my brother is a football player, so that's how I got into like sports. My big brother, so it was a lot of being outside, playing games. I played a lot of video games growing up. I was really good in school, not behavior-wise probably, but academically very smart. I wouldn't say I was like popular kid, but everybody knew me to be funny and energetic and just like kind of crazy. So my childhood was pretty good. I had a great childhood. I didn't even need for nothing. My mom provided me with pretty much everything I needed and wanted. So I was blessed in that way.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
How many siblings do you have?
Oh man. On my mom's side or my dad's side?
All together.
All together, I have nine biological brothers and sisters, But like if I'm counting all of the ones I call my brothers and sisters, like well over like probably 15.
Oh, wow.
No.
So are you close with all of your siblings?
Yes, I'm close with my brother, my little sister that y'all probably see very often. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And my other ones, I never live with them, but like I try to keep in contact with them as much as I can, because like I said, I'm really family oriented. So I try my best, but like it's hard when like life gets in the way of a lot of things, so yeah.
Yeah, and and just having a big family. Look,
Exactly.
even having like one sister, I'm like, I can't even.
What?
Well, yeah, I'm not. I wish I was as family oriented as you are. My situation is a little different, but I found out that I had some siblings, and I can't even keep in contact with them. They must think I'm like crazy or something. But it is what it is. Is who in your family is athletic? I know you said your brother, but
Okay, so
it's us sneaking in the background.
I mean, you can't tell these people nothing. I told them stay upstairs, but they don't listen. So, no, I can see you. I'm sorry. Anyways, I really apologize. I tried,
Nobody
y'all.
can see you. It's okay. It makes for good TV.
Like they sneaking like you can't see them. But anyways,
Baby girl, look where I'm at.
In the
Hey,
bed.
look where I'm at.
in the bed,
Man,
I know
ain't
I was
trying to
like,
tell
damn,
not
I should
all
have
that,
been in the
man.
bed. I'm like, I'm trying to set
I
it up right.
prefer you did the right thing. I prefer the professionalism. He got his own definition.
Coach got a tray on the desk. Yeah.
You
But
Listen, I'm a non-conformist, man.
wouldn't be able to tell it's a bed unless you know it's like it looks like it a little bit.
I didn't even notice until you said something, honestly.
Yeah, I'm in the office, man.
Man, look, ain't nobody worried about that,
Man.
man. I really never care. As long as the message get conveyed.
Yeah.
Coach, we ain't worried about it. But
I don't care.
who's athletic in
Go
my
ahead.
family? My brother. I'm trying to think. There's really no other like just crazy athletes in my family. It's really me and my brother.
Okay. What age? What age did you start boxing?
16, 17. 16.
And some people would say that's late, but there's like a common misconception or
Yeah.
that
Honestly, I call myself late, so I think that's late because all of the ones that I've been around, they started when they was like 9 or 7, so I consider myself late.
Yeah, but there's some advantages to
It's not late.
starting at a later age. People who start younger, they have a lot of wear and tear on their body, on their brain, from like losing weight and getting, hits and stuff like that. So it's not a terrible thing to start at that age. Some people even start later. How did you get into boxing?
See, I was in middle school. I ran cross country. I did track. I played basketball and other things like that. I've always been in school sports. All the sports I did was at school. I would try to get my mom to like, sign me up for different things like outside of school, but she really never like really paid attention too much to it. I was like, Mom, there's this MMA gym. I'm like 11 saying this. I'm like, Mom, it's an MMA gym right across from our house. Like, can you take me? She's like, girl, you want to go get hit in the face? I'm like, I ain't gonna get hit in the face. I'm gonna hit them in the face. And she never really paid attention to like me wanting to like do combat sports and all of that. So how I got into it was this man came along in my life. He was like, one of my first father figures that I've had. And he just really asked me one day, it's such a simple story. He was like, hey, you want to learn how to fight? And I'm like, yes. Because, I've always wanted to learn how to fight. Whether it was, I didn't know I wanted to compete, but I knew I wanted to learn how to, 1-2, duck, the normal stuff. And we were watching boxing highlights, specifically Deontay Wilder, and I was just so like captured by everything about fighting, and I was like, okay, I think I could do this. So we pushed the chairs back, put socks on our hands, and we just went for what we know. And then from there, everything just hit me so fast. Like, I come back from school the next day, I have three pairs of boxing gloves, 2 headgears. We got a freaking bag in the garage. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even ask for all of this, but okay, let's do it. And that's how it happened. It just really, literally fell into my lap.
Wow, he's saying you ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
If he went to that extent, obviously he saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. Like, it's something that you wanted, maybe, but there's some natural talent there.
Yeah. And to go off of that, what you just said, he was always like, I see something in you. I see something. And I believed it, but it was from just starting, it was hard to like I was telling myself that I was this and I was that, and that I could do these things. I was telling myself that, and I felt it, but I don't feel it like I feel it now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you take a break between the transition? You were training with him for a little bit?
Oh, most definitely. I did. Yes, I took I think it was a 9-month or a 10-month layoff. 9 months.
What do you think the break did for you?
Oh Lord, what did it do for me? Man, it did everything for me. Like, up in the to the point where I like literally threw the gloves off. I'm like, hey, I don't want to see another boxing video. I don't want to smell another boxing gym. I don't want to look at no shoes. I don't want to hear about this fight. I don't want to hear about no amateur show. It was probably a couple of weeks after my last loss. It was in the Gulf Coast Championships. And what it did for me was, at first, it was weird. At first, like maybe the first couple of weeks, it was really weird because, my body is so used to, going out, training, running and all of that. So I felt weird, like going on about my day. I felt like it was something that was missing. But at the same time, I was like, oh, it feels so good to not have to go put myself through this, or, and then as the months progressed, I was just like, hanging out. I always would try to like give myself something to do every day, whether it was like hanging out with my friends or trying to get into learning things like real estate and stuff like that. I was just trying to like fill the void of me just working and then going to sleep, just working and going to sleep. That never felt normal because I'd never been inactive athletically. I've never been inactive. So after I got used to that, I was still at the point to where I was like, I love boxing, but I had unfollowed all of the boxing pages I had. I still loved it and I still felt it. It was there. It was like just like a shadow following me for like 9 months. Like, I felt like, I don't know. Sorry, I keep kind of going over.
No, it's okay. We can use this as like a therapy session,
Yeah, let me slow down. Let me slow down. It felt like I was happy to not say be at peace, because all I used to know was grind, go 10 times, like, like power, fast, everything, can't get tired, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was training literally like an animal, like a robot. Like, like I wasn't allowed to have emotions. I wasn't allowed to get tired. I wasn't allowed to, you understand what I'm saying, Jiffy?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a lot of that for a long time. So after that just got withdrawn from my life like very fast. I just felt like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know. So I got into real estate. I got into just learning different things that I could do, like through my computer. I was in college. I was in community college. I went to Lone Star. I was doing classes to try to keep myself busy. But I really was like, nothing is giving me what I was given, you know. So after I started recovering from that, I was used to that. Now I'm starting to look at boxing stuff again. And I'm talking to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I would never go back into a boxing gym. I would never go back into a boxing ever again. I'm never going to get back in the ring. I ain't volunteering myself to do that ever again. And she's like, okay, huh?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
She's like, okay, baby, well, I support you, whatever you do. Whatever you do, as long as you happy. I don't care what you do, as long as you happy. And I was glad I had that support by my mom, you know, because she was the only person that really knew what I was putting myself through with the boxing stuff. She was there every day. She saw me come home from practice and all of that. So for her to be there for me in that way, because she all I had, that helped me a lot. But then I started telling her, like, you know, Mom, I wanna go up to Four Corners. I wanna go up to J Prince Gym or something. Or I wanna go to Katie Boxing Gym. I just want to go hit the bag. It started to be like that. And then sure enough, first time coming back to the gym in a long time, I'm like, dang. Looking at everybody, and everybody looking at me like, Summer, where you been? Summer, where you been? I haven't seen you fight. And I already knew that was going to happen. You know, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I was kind of scared to go back, because I knew people was going to be like, Summer, like, where have you been? Whoopty whoop. So I was avoiding that for a long time. But I'm gonna try to.
Led to you stopping and like hating boxing?
I would. Man, I don't know who's watching, but I would really
you can just summarize it.
It was, I'll say, a combination of the training schedule I had, which was gruesome. You know, the training was gruesome. Literally, there's no other way to explain it. I'm talking hills, miles, crazy bag work, crazy weightlifting, running. Then the mental part, you know, it was, you can't be hurt. You can't be emotional. You can't cry. You can't make mistakes. You know, anybody around me, they know what I had to endure. So that, and on top of the mental strain of all of that, because on top of all that, I got to go out and perform and win. But when I'm performing, I have to be the best. I have to be perfect in every way. I have to entertain. I have to hurt. I have to dish out pain. I'm fighting against the USA boxing people because they really don't like my style of fighting, or they don't like my trainer. They don't like us. Mm-hmm. So I'm fighting against that. And yeah, so all of that, the pressure, and you know, that really made me have a huge resentment toward it.
So with all of that, your training schedule and like the mentality and just everything, how was your record? Were you winning?
Yeah, I was winning. And then I think after I came from the Nationals, I placed second. I was winning. But my losses, I say like my first amateur fight, I lost it. Mm-hmm. I didn't get beat up, but I didn't understand that. Well, I understood it, but once you get into the ring, you're going to tap into that survival instinct if things aren't going the right way, like how you envision it. So I lost off of like moving too much with my feet, too much feet work, trying not to get hit, but then trying to hit. It's like you gotta hit. You know how Texas is.
Style is a little bit.
Yeah. So it was a split loss decision, but I wasn't mad. But just because like I knew what was coming after that, like I knew that okay, I lost. Now what I was telling y'all about the pressure and you gotta win, you gotta do this, you know. So I was scared of that. I was more scared of not impressing or not satisfying our whole motto, if that makes sense. So that I was more scared of that than losing. So that was the hard part. But I was winning. You know, I went to the Nationals and I did great for my first time. I went to Nationals with 4 fights and I placed number 2. But then after that, after I came back, I lost to the girl that me and coach first fight, I lost to her to a split, and I actually knocked her down in the first round, and then after that it was back for boom, boom, boom. Then the second after that, I went to the Gulf Coast National Championships, and then I lost to Jocelyn Perez, which is like one of the best amateur girls in my weight class.
I was gonna say she's good spar. She comes to Maine to spar sometimes. Y'all still in the same weight class right now?
Yeah, she do 119 mostly. She do 125 too, but she was my sparring partner like from the jump, and then I learned she was like the first girl that I really sparred against that was like great. You know, she's great.
So you've had some good sparring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I love Jocelyn though, because she was the first girl I had to look up to that I knew. Okay, this is what it has to be. So she definitely like, you know, got me thinking like, okay, this is what she do, then this is what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with everything that you've experienced, and then going back to the gym, do you still have a relationship with a past trainer?
Yeah. And I'm gonna stop saying like passionate. He was my first father figure, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I give him that respect. You know, I'm gonna say his name is Jeremy. That's him. And I'm sorry, can I ask the question again?
Do you have a relationship with him? Like
Yeah, we do have a relationship. It was a little stagnant when I wasn't boxing, but it's starting to be a little better, you know, because that's what we built everything off of.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
it
no
was
bad blood. Everything is cool. Like, you know, you move forward
no,
with your journey.
not at all, because we love each other, you know. So I have to learn how to separate that, but we love each other, and I love him. So it's just like, you know, but
it sounds like a lot of growth happened, you know,
yeah.
in your boxing journey. You should be proud of that. You know, I know you can feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about it, but
no, I don't. It's okay. I just try not to like, you know, I try not to say certain things because, you know, people have emotions. So like, I don't want to like just say it too much.
You're very profound for 19 years old.
Thank you.
So now we're here. I was gonna say, well, let's fast forward to the future, not the future, but we're here in the present. So you decided I'm gonna go to different gyms, and then you locked in on Katie Boxing, where Derek is.
That's West End or the Grind Academy. That's not Katie.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
He's like, girl. Okay.
No, the fella who opened up Katie Boxing was in the gym we in now, and then he went down the street and opened. So I think they was calling the Grind. No, I'm sorry, it was still West End. When he moved, he called his boxing Katie Boxing Gym that's still there. So it's easy to confuse, but
I shouldn't be confusing. Lord help me. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so you
shout out Rodney and Gerald McClellan Jr. just won his fight. So
oh yeah,
that's Katie Boxing.
that's right. I was there, interviewed them and everything.
Right. But it's literally a block away, though. Yeah, and Dinah's is a block this way, and Katie's a block that way.
Dang, that's right. It's a lot of them.
It's not even a minute apart, literally. No, Katie is like a minute down the road.
It's like McDonald's and Burger King.
Exactly.
So when you decided, I want to go back to the gym, I'm going to hit the bags or whatever, how many gyms did you try out?
Okay, so all of the gyms that I went to the ones where I felt most comfortable. Because, you know, when me and Jeremy was boxing, we called it a tour. We used to try to go to each gym everywhere, and we tried to spar. So it was a whole bunch of gyms that I could have picked. But I picked the ones where I felt most safe and comfortable. Because, you know, me being a woman, like, and I'm by myself now, when I go there, usually they wouldn't try to like mess with me too much because, you know, I had him next to me. So they wouldn't try to ask me too many questions not like that. But now that if I was gonna go to any random gym, they might have been like, come on, like, let me show you something. Let me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want that. I just wanted peace. So first I went to Four Corners Boxing Gym. And then that gym was originally built for the, for the Grundy twins.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought me up under them as like they tried to pick who they thought was like, going to carry the gym, go to nationals, win tournaments, and yada yada. And I was the only girl that they picked. So I was up through with them, and we trained together for probably like 3 months, probably. So that's where I felt most comfortable. That's where my people at. So I went there first. And when I first went there, nobody was there except for I can't make out her name, but she's I think she's WBC champion heavyweight. Her last name maybe Chambers.
Danielle.
Yeah, she was there. Yeah, and she was training somebody. But I had already previously met her. We talked, had conversations, so it was just her and her client. I was just in there hitting the bag. I didn't even care if I was out of shape. I was just touching it, trying to feel something again. I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm going to try to go back to the gym and see if I can find something, see if I can feel something, some type of spark. Because I was just talking about it for so long. And then I finally got the courage to go. Then I had went to J Prince gym. I went there and I worked out a couple of times. Nobody really messed with me. People recognize me, because in Houston, a lot of people recognize me or may know my name for whatever reason. And the first time I had sparred though, in like over 9 months, I had sparred at J Prince gym, and it was Zay Quinn. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Zay Quinn.
I mess up his name too.
Yeah, Zay. I just call him Zay. He sparred me. He let me get in like 4 rounds, and I felt okay. I didn't feel like I was just so badly out of shape because I'm a natural athlete. So like I don't know what it is, but I could not do something for the longest, and then when I hop back into it, it's like okay, let's go. But the sparring it was good. I just knew I was like dang, like I have the will and all of that, but there's levels to this skill, and I don't have that. I don't have nobody with me to teach me how is this boy doing this. Because I don't care if I'm a girl. I want to beat boys. Like I want to beat them too. Even though I know naturally they're not trying to hurt me, things like that. But if we're only using skill, if I know I could hit this shot, or I know if I could get the best of somebody for this amount of time, then I know that okay, I'm improving in some type of way. So yeah.
So the question was, how many gyms did you try?
Oh, how many? Oh, 2, Four Corners and J Prince.
And then
Katie.
And then how'd you end up at the grind?
So I searched. I never knew about this gym, man. This is crazy. I searched up boxing gyms in the Cypress area, and then that popped up. But I think I had seen it before, but I just didn't. I never heard it. I never heard of the name. So I thought it was like one of those fitness gyms, that is not boxing. It's just fitness. And so when I clicked on it, I think it was like at nighttime. It was probably during a weekday. The first time I went, it was only one kid in there, and it was open. So I just walked in there. I'm like, dang, this is a nice gym, but in Cypress, but I never seen this gym. So I'm like, okay, I work out in there, wooty woot, whatever. I come back. The next time I came back, it was on a Saturday, and then that's how I met Coach Derek.
What was the first conversation that y'all had with each other? Like, did you approach her or did she approach you?
I don't remember something. What happened?
Man, Coach Derek, he got to do this. But what happened was, walking there, I was mad. I was actually mad that day. I was mad at something. I wasn't going to go to the gym that day, but something made me mad. So I'm like, man, I'm finna go to the gym. I ain't worried about this. So I went to the gym. And then I call him Quick Draw. He call him Quinnet. this how I first knew about Quentin. I just called him Quick Draw from the first time I seen him at Legion's. He was sparring, but I was like, oh shoot, that's Quick Draw. But I never seen Coach Derek with him, and I just got in there just doing my own thing again. And then I think Coach had looked over. He saw me. He saw I had a mask on. This is in Texas. Coach did not like this. I never put this mask on ever again. I had a face mask on, an elevation mask. And the reason I bought that is because I knew that if I wanted to get back into boxing, I knew that I wanted to have tip-top condition. Like I didn't want to get tired in a fight. That's the worst feeling ever. It feels like a nightmare. So that's in my mind, I didn't have no guidance around me. It was just me going to the gym by myself. I got a mask so I could make my breathing harder so my lungs could get back stronger or whatever. I was just trying something, honestly.
And what research did Derek? What you go over there and tell her about that mask?
Take that bullshit off your face before you die.
That's what he said. And I was just like, okay. Just took it off. I didn't say nothing. I was like, he probably right. It was hot, man. It was hot.
We already breathing water in Houston. It's all humidity. You don't get air now, and you're gonna restrict your airflow. I'll show you how to get a workout. You don't have to stop your breathing to work. You need your breath. Well, anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm old school, except when new school has science behind it. When you got the science behind it, I'm good. And I'm not saying that mass won't strengthen your lungs. It probably will because you're working them overtime. But the reason why you go to Colorado and Big Bear and all that stuff is natural thinner air, and it is pushing you. It's working out, but you get that normally here in Houston because you can't fucking breathe. Can you imagine putting a mask on in Maine?
Oh no,
Maine is like hell. It's like hell in there. It's like literally hell. What I imagine hell to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. If you work in places, and I guess if you got good lungs, I don't know. Maybe you want a mask on. Take that dumb shit off. Joe Louis didn't wear a mask. Take your fucking mask off. But
that's that old school. So that was the first thing that he said to you. Did you think like, who is this man? Am I gonna train with him or like?
I thought. See, man, this sounds so cliche, but like, like I be thinking like on another level, like on a different level. Like I'm a spiritual person, so like when I'm around people or like I just know when it's certain times to listen. Like that sounds so cliche, but I really mean it. Like when I was in there, I knew like when he said that, I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna take it off. But if it was just like another coach or something, and I feel that, I'm like, bro, you don't even know me. I'm good. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but like I just knew. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it off. It was like an intuition thing. I was like, yeah, he's right. I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah. I kind of get that. I think Derek only attracts people who are like very spiritual because I think in a way like everybody because I think his circle became my circle and we already had circles and then they like combined and everybody who are in the circle pretty much are on the same page as far as like how we feel about each other and how we respect each other and how we treat each other. Like he could send when you guys were fighting, when was that, August 12th? He could send people he sent people to work with me. I barely ever talked to them,
Mm-hmm.
But we all like, it's just kind of like we knew each other.
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I first was in there, I didn't know, but like it's just sometimes like you just some things are inexplainable. Like words can't explain things, but I think we all understand what I'm saying. Yeah. It was just one of those feelings. It was like, okay. It was like as he was talking, like when he was talking, I'm like, you probably gonna be my coach.
Yeah.
In my head, like the first day, I was like, he's probably gonna train me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Look, he's like, really?
Yeah, I knew.
What's your favorite thing that he's taught you so far?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Dang, you got me there.
He's taught you a lot, I'm sure.
I think the best thing that he taught me was like, because it's not a thing. It's not a move. You know, it's like, how can I explain it? Okay, I'm gonna just try to say it. It's like he taught me like boxing, like, gosh. Okay, I'm gonna just try to simplify it. He taught me work smarter, not harder. That's not really the best way to say it, but it's just like do what you gotta do. The math is right. You in shape. What do you have to worry about?
Yeah,
but it's more to that. It's more like it's like a cloud around that, though. You know. Sorry.
Derek, go ahead and expand on that.
I don't know. I'm teaching him how to fight.
He never said those words, though. He never said work smarter, not harder. It's just like.
It's like basically like only do things that are necessary.
No, it's just like him as a coach is like I've had a lot of like mental burdens taken off of me. Like a lot of mental things that I used to think about or go through or worry about, I don't worry about that no more. So yeah.
That's way better than what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I really don't. It's not like a move he taught me or a way to jab. It was just like the way of boxing is just completely different. And like the atmosphere that I'm around and like the way that I'm looked at as a person, you know. So
that's one of like the best feelings to enjoy what you do, to want to show up every day, to want to learn things, to be around like-minded people, because like I don't think a lot of people understand how mentally taxing boxing really is, especially if we put like a lot of pressure on ourselves, because of course like everybody wants to win, but at the end of the day, like the winning comes from the feeling within. Like the wins and the losses on the record, I've learned they don't define you as a person. They don't define you as a boxer.
Not at all.
Those experiences.
Yeah.
So I got a serious question. Do you understand anything he says?
I would like to say yes. I understand the words. I understand. I would like to say yes, but like one thing I learned is that sometimes when you think you understand something, like you might not, you know. So I do understand what he said. Like I do more listening and talking. Like when we be at the gym, you know, he do his everyday lecture. He do about 2 or 3 in between practice. You know, he do about 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But yeah, I do be listening all the time. Even if he don't think I'm listening, like I may be across the gym, I'll be listening to everything that they be talking about. And I just like, bro, coach is crazy, bro. Coach got so much knowledge. Like, I love it. But yeah, sometimes I don't though. Like when he's talking about other things, I'll be like, well, I have to look into that. Yeah.
I know, because sometimes I'm like, wait, what do you mean by that? Or I think I understand that. Or you tell me.
Yeah, when you get to talk about other stuff, I'm like, never heard of that one. But and then I go home, I go on YouTube, type it up. I'm like, oh, you know, because I've never watched Joe Louis, and Coach probably gonna be like, what?
Oh, wow.
Before I met him, I never watched Joe Louis. No. like, cause when I was looking at old school boxing, like, I guess like because I'm in the newer generation, like it's hard to like just look at just strictly how they boxing versus how it look, and like, it's like a disconnect between the times. So it just be like people probably be like, oh, that's old school, but no, like when you sit down and you look at it and then apply what coach is saying, you're like, oh dang, like, because he's like boxing was perfected in the 1900s. So I was looking at it and I took that into my mind while I was looking at it. And I'm like, dang, like these dudes they were the first of their kind, like they were the first of their kind. So it's just like, yeah, he opened up my mind to like watching old school boxing.
That's good.
Yeah. Things past Mayweather and all that stuff. That sounds so bad, but like I just was only watching color.
Teaching the sport, so
yeah, I couldn't watch none in black and white. I don't know why. I had to have some color.
How many days of the week do you train?
5 days out the week.
How far is the drive to the gym?
17 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not at all. Compared to where I used to drive like 35 minutes to like Four Corners or like J Prince when I first started out. But I knew that wasn't gonna work because I had started working too. So I'm like, nah, that's not worth it. That's why I knew I had to find a gym in Cypress. Originally, I was gonna be at Katy. I was gonna be there, but it's just some was like they try to like mess with me too much. Like when I'm doing something, I want to be like left alone. If I don't have that connect with the trainer, and then there's trainers trying to tell me stuff, and I just feel like, nah, then I just want to be left alone.
Do you ever feel like that at the gym? When there, do you ever feel like, leave me alone, not today?
No, I don't. Not at all.
That's good. How do you get along with everybody at the gym?
I just be myself. I don't try to like overstep. Like I just be myself and I just work hard. Really, I don't really do too much talking until I'm done. Like once I get in there, I stretch and I start my jump rope and I just lock in on that. I don't try to have too much conversation in between. I may ask coach something, or I might joke around with the boys in between like a rest, but I get along with them because I just be myself. I never really like have too much problems with people. Like I don't really have problems with getting along with people.
That's good. I know Derek was on a quest for a she-wolf for a long time. Derek, tell us about your quest.
Not a quest.
Yes.
He got his green light on. He got his green light.
So look. Oh, I get to talk now. Okay. All right. So I spent when I started training when I started learning to be a trainer, I should say, I spent 5 years with a towel on my shoulder, running, getting water and shit, right? Just shutting up and learning. And then I started helping develop fighters. Then I started developing my own fighters. And in about 2009 or something, I had the greatest fighter I ever had, man. Was a little girl. And I mean, just it was unreal. And yeah, this is when Quentin started boxing. This is when I taught him how to throw a punch. And I remember and y'all was talking about starting late. And because coming from what I come from, I always thought about, we all started boxing as little bitty kids. But that's also why, I think that's also kind of why everybody don't make it. They get ran off. This shit is hard, man. Ain't no season, ain't no, you don't sign up for boxing and you get 16 games to go play and everybody gets a championship and shit. It's nothing like that. And it'll really it'll break a gifted athlete. It'll break them, right? Just run them off. And anyway, So when I had this little girl, I mean, I couldn't fight her. She learned off boys and sparred boys, and there was really no girls to fight. I think we had a handful of fights at the most. I even had to go to Louisiana to get her fights and stuff. But anyway, this is before they let y'all in the Olympics, and you remember girls used to go to nationals, but that was it. You go to nationals, it's over. Long story short, my little girl, became a young lady, started growing up, and went away from boxing. So one of the things you learn as a trainer or good trainers learn, you can't do it for them, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good they are. It doesn't matter how special they look. It doesn't matter if they got every fucking thing you're looking for. You can't do it for them. And nothing in this world works like an ass. That's why you give them, right? You give an ass whooping because if you don't like what somebody did or somebody did so you kick their ass and they'll stop, right? So this life is hard, man. So she ended up didn't make it. And then a few years later, the girls are in the Olympics. We got Clarissa now. We got Michaela. We got all these stars, and I think I'm a staunch supporter of women's boxing, uh, especially since we opened this podcast. But shit, 4 or 5 years ago now. But it's really started with her, uh, and her name was Julianne. But uh, anyway, from that day to this, I done found because I'm such a woman's boxing supporter, I done found the women I like I like men boxers, and it's no difference. Elite boxing is elite boxing, and I think I done tried to help every girl I know personally with their boxing if they ask me, and if it doesn't step on anybody's toes or anything. But so yeah, it's been about 10 years. I've been looking for no, I ain't been looking for shit. Let me stop lying. I ain't never looked for a fight in my life. Uh, because I know you can't do it like that, right? So I've been just sitting here waiting, man. Like one of these days, a little girl's gonna walk in here, man, and watch what I do. So one day, listen. I think someone mentioned. I think she was alluding to it earlier, and you as well. I don't profess or proclaim my religious beliefs for nothing more than a witness for God, right? And if I don't want nobody judging my religion on me because it would be a horrible example, right? But if I'm standing there and witnessing, then God knows my intention, and then maybe somebody pick something out of it. So when she walked in, I said, "Yep, this is just how it works," and walked over there and helped her. She listened, and that was a couple months ago, and we 2-0, and it's no accident. That's my belief anyway. Uh, and y'all, let's see. I don't never try to I don't never try. I don't even try to convince Summer of nothing. I just show her. She convinces herself, right? So I don't gotta tell people this is what I'm gonna do. I just be doing shit. Now I like to tell you because when it happens, then you think I'm better than what I am. Because I'm really just experienced. I don't know the future, but I know boxing, right? So if I tell you this is the likelihood of what's gonna happen, it normally happens. Short of somebody making a mistake. But listen, someone can say what she wants to say about her first trainer or the reason why she's an athlete and why she was uncomfortable, why she may be comfortable now. But none of that matters because without that, she wouldn't have came into the gym where I was staying. So all that's part of it. All of her success that we gonna have has everything to do with the first guy that taught her to fight and brought her to the gym. Got everything to do with her mother. Got everything. Listen, I told one of my favorites to come to the gym. I need some sparring. Summer's grandparents walked in the door. Her mother's in the door. Her little sister. Uh, You're in the right place. I just had the place for you. You found it because this is where you're supposed to be. That's the things I see. And so I'm never amazed. I'm never amazed by God's math because I know the math, right? So it doesn't surprise me when things are working right. I heard a thing say the other day. God does the worstest thing you could think of, and the best thing you could think of. God's capable of that, right? So you may wonder, man, that's terrible. Or this is man, that's great. It's because you're not in control. God's gonna make sure everything. All you got to do is stand there and be a witness to it, and admit to your mistakes. When, and things will come to you. Someone walked in that gym, man. I seen that little girl walking when I was a young lady, but I'm,
Everybody are children to him, so
I got my daughter. My oldest daughter's 31 years old, right? So uh, I don't mean nothing by it because she's a young lady, but that when she came in there and was working like that, I said, oh man, because I don't look for. She's never gonna impress me with how fast she is, or frankly how hard she works. Is that she's just standing there doing that shit repeatedly and nobody's telling her to do it. I'm like, why is this little girl doing this thing? Come here. Take that shit off your face. You wanna do something, do this. And then when she do it and then ask me at the end, all right, now what? Oh shit. Yeah. So when I get on them boys, I get on them now at the gym and she gets embarrassed, I don't care. Hey, look, bro. Listen, man. We all can't be Summer, bro. You got to learn. You got to fucking listen to what I'm telling you, bro, because you have retarded. And she gets so mad, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If they want to learn, look at the work she's putting in, and look what she done did in a couple months. They got kids. Man, I got a dummy at the gym. Whole thing, he works as hard as anybody, but he just takes long to get there, right? He needs to look at her and say, well, if I'm not pushing as hard as her, I ain't gonna get it either. See what I'm saying? I use them all to go off of each other. So yeah, yeah, it was she supposed to come to the gym. What you want me to tell you? I don't know how to explain it more than that. But you they gonna watch what I do. She's gonna do it, but they gonna watch. I'm telling her some things to do, and she's gonna do it, and they gonna see fucking girl special, Jim. It's crazy.
I can tell. So you guys have been together for a couple of months, and you fought 2 times already, and you avenged a loss that you had in what the golf championships. You said.
No, that's when I went to go fart in Port Arthur. That's where we first fought at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this, how big of a difference was the fight from the girl that you fought twice?
When I first fought her, um, I did good the first round. I just think that like the previous fighter that I used to be, I'm still the same fighter, but like I was so into like wanting to hurt them that I went away from my jab. Uh Went away from my jab. And so we got into a brawl. But that's how she fight. I'm fighting her fight. So that played into how I lost. And the difference with the second fight was I feel like I still could have did like I'm not gonna say that. The second fight, I think the difference was that I stayed calm. I stayed calm, even though I was still nervous because that was my first fight in a minute. I stayed calm, and then and in the midst of like oh, she's hitting me, and I'm like getting hit with shots that I'm seeing, which I'm like telling myself, I'm like, bro, Summer, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you? What are you doing? Usually the old me, I would really sink that in, and I'd be like, oh, now I look like this. Oh, now I'm just gonna have to. No, I was still telling myself, even though I was doing things that I know I'm not supposed to do, I'm doing things that I know that's like that don't look good on the outside of the ring. I was still telling myself, I'm going to win this fight. I don't care like what it is, Summer, whatever you got to do, you win this fight because that's how it has to go. So I think I just the difference was maybe trying to stick with my jab. I could have stuck with my jab way more than I did, but just I have way more will now that like I want to win even more, 10 times more than I did before. And like every time I fight, it just grows more. Like me wanting to win, it just grows more every single time.
So that was your first fight back. Now your second fight back, what was the difference between the first and the second fight? Like how much more confident were you?
Okay, so my second fight, I felt myself slipping back into that nervous realm that you get when you finna fight, that realm of ugh, you know what I'm saying? I felt myself slipping into that, and I did not want to go back into that place. I did not want to perform in that realm. So I told Cuz, I was like, Cuz, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know why I feel nervous right now. But once I said that, and then we started doing pad work again, I just imagined every time, because when I'm nervous in my hands. I'm nervous right here. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel the nervousness like in my hands and in my wrist. So I was like, okay, I need to hit. We start hitting the pad. So I'm just trying to knock it off, like knock it off. So once I did that, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm in practice mode. Even though the fight is not practice, but like I try to put myself into that practice mode because when you're practicing, you're not anxious. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was trying to like just keep myself in that. So when I stepped into the ring, I told myself, I'm like, bro, just treat it like sparring. Even though sparring and fight is two different things, but just fight, just do what you do. Like, so that was a difference, but like the physical differences as far as like skill set, I think that I was just maybe a little bit more comfortable with the way that we fight. Still not where I want to be, but I think that I was just, and this girl was better than last girl, so I knew that I was going to perform better. But definitely, there's still so much more that I want to do better. So, like I said, just the will to win, it grows more every time that I get into the ring.
That's what it's about though too. Like if you stop, if it's just like, oh yeah, I fought, I won, that's it, then there's no point, right? You have to have something to reach to. One of my questions was gonna be, how do you talk to yourself? But you kind of answered it.
Yeah, that's how I do. Like, I feel like I try as much as I try. Like my last fight, I did not think about it too much up until I started warming up, But the first fight that we had together, man, I was thinking about that fight every day, and I hated that because I'm like, I know what that leads to. But I think humans, we naturally do things. Sometimes we don't want to, but that was just like a human thing, the nervousness. But yeah, I just talked to myself like something like this is nothing compared to where you're gonna be. Like, but this still matters. But like I just be telling myself, whatever outcome it is, like this is what I'm gonna do. And I know what I have envisioned for myself, where I want to be, who I want to be, what I want to represent, what I want to have. So I try to like just like be like, okay, this right here, this is what we have to do. So let's do it.
It's not a terrible place to be. It's, your mindset is on the right track, I feel. Do you feel like you have support from like family, community? Is there like a people behind you? Do you have any haters?
Oh, most definitely. Like the support is like this. The support is what really makes me feel like, okay, this what I'm doing is right. Even though I feel that here, but like
Mhm.
once I go out, like I might go to the mall and then somebody might be like, "Hey, ain't you that boxing girl with you? Hey, don't you be boxing or something like that?" And I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, okay, keep doing what you're doing." Like sometimes I'll just go anywhere and somebody will say that, but that's only in Houston.
Mhm.
But the support is definitely real. Like that those people actually love me. Like even when I wasn't boxing, like they might have noticed that, but they were still supportive and they care about me as a person. And my family, my grandma don't like me boxing. She don't like to see me like get in the ring and do stuff like that. But I tell her, I'm like, grandma, one day, once all this play off, you gonna be happy that I box cause I'm gonna take care of you. So um my mom, she supports me 100%. She supports whatever I do, honestly. And my brothers, my sisters, they love it. So like Coach said, when I sparred, my family had came with me and things like that. Like my family is everything. So yeah, they support me a lot.
Do you feel like you have any haters or like anybody hating on you, or have you received any negative comments? It's normal.
Hmm. Yeah, but I feel like maybe it was because I was so new to everything and the way that I approached it. Uh, like me and my last trainer, the way we kind of just approached it in a more flamboyant style. It was very flamboyant. Um, I think that kind of like made people be like, "Hey, why does this girl think she's all this?" Or why is this trainer doing this with this girl? Or because we didn't know. We was just, you know, we were just doing what we knew. Because nobody in my family boxed. Nobody in his family boxed. We were just doing stuff because that's how we created our bond. And so I could understand from their point of view why they may have felt some type of way about me, even though it wasn't me as a person because they never knew me as a person. It was just that like I would, post videos and I'd be like, hey, I'm going to be the greatest woman boxer of all time, or I'm going to be the greatest boxer of all time, or I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But I'm saying that and I got 2 or 3 fights, you know. But there's these girls, 10-time national champions, 15 national champions, all these things. They don't do all of that. So I definitely understood why people felt some type of way about me.
Well, I'm glad that you grew from it, because I could tell that that's not who you are. That's just what you were doing. Because if
Yeah.
it's who you are, then you would still be doing it now. You know.
I still feel that way. I just
Yeah,
don't I
you
just
should
don't say
feel
that
that
out loud.
way. I think
Like
you should feel that way, but I think like posting videos, like embarrassing people, stuff like that.
yeah, but at the same time when I was doing that like, and I just cringe because it's just like I was just having like, I think like I said, the mentality of everything, that the area, the cloud of what I was doing, it was only me and Jeremy. So we're in our own world. We're not understanding that there's gatekeepers, there's this, there's that. This is a way of doing this. So I learned that, but nobody ever came to me and was like, hey, you shouldn't say this. I just felt that animosity.
Mm. Well, that sucks that people.
I
Jeff,
ain't worried about it because I could post a video today. I would still say it. I just don't, because I just feel like I don't have to do that. But I could still say it right now. Like I would say it, like I am going to be the greatest woman boxer of all time. I say that and I mean it, but I got to go do it. But I still feel that way. So,
As you should.
yeah.
Jeff, I didn't know. I ain't never seen something before in my life. I don't know who her old trainer was, so I didn't have none of that baggage. But uh, so I didn't have none of that preconceived shit. But she definitely She definitely didn't come to the guy who's got a bunch of friends, so it don't matter anyway.
Oh yeah, don't nobody
But
like
listen,
Derek. So
but listen. Only if you know me. People that know me like me, but if they don't know me, man, I be hearing some crazy shit. Like motherfuckers say, Coach, motherfuckers say this. I say, man, I ain't never talked to that dude in my life. Why? What the fuck you think I think that? So I don't care nothing about that shit. But
Yeah, coach, you remember when we first got around each other and somebody had told you that I had an attitude,
yeah,
but
yeah, I heard that.
I
I
never.
heard that a couple times, and I'm like, that ain't the that ain't the girl I know. I don't know what the fuck they talking about, but
It could have been either like something from the media, like on my social media. Probably they probably thought I was um cocky or something,
but
or they may have seen me in the gym and I may have been arguing like with
here's the thing, baby girl. Here's the
uh,
thing, though. When you put stuff out there, then it's out there. You telling them, give me
right,
your opinion, right? And
exactly.
and my whole concern is only this. I don't care. I don't listen. You gonna be great. I said it, so I don't care what nobody else said. Fuck them. I know what I'm talking about. This is what I do. I'm not pretending and guessing. This is what the fuck I do. But once you put it out there, you putting it out there for opinions, right? My worry for you athletes, for you fighters, Jiffy, Summer, is if y'all ever start believing in what the fuck y'all putting out there, you'll accidentally start believing in the opinions that come back. Because if you start putting stuff out there, this what I'm saying, and this is what Summer's learned. She can correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I think she learned. You could believe and hope you the best all the fuck you want, and you just gonna get your ass whooped because boxing was perfected in the 30s, and if you don't understand the math, you're gonna fucking lose because you're gonna get by until you don't. You're gonna get by until you hit the ceiling. You're gonna be faster and quicker than everybody until you hit a guy who knows how to fight, right? And then all that shit changes. And the problem is, right, you're swooping up on social media and shit and saying you the best thing since sliced bread, you're gonna get a gang of people who say yeah and agree with you. And if you value that too much, you're messing up. Because when you start valuing that them cheers and shit and them yeah you the best, you're gonna believe when you lose too. And they say you ain't shit. You're gonna believe that too. When you're supposed to know in this game, if you lose, that's your opportunity to be great.
mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm saying. It ain't a great fighter, and let me speak to baby girl's generation. It ain't a great fighter in the world who hasn't lost. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Whether you didn't see it or not, it don't matter. First time Roy Jones got knocked the fuck out in front of everybody against Tarver. In the post fight interview, this is what I'm telling you. In the post fight interview, when they talked to him and he came to, and they say, damn, you Roy Jones, you've been knocked the fuck out. You know what the first thing Roy Jones said? It ain't the first time I've been knocked out in the gym. That's what the people don't see. That's what the world don't see. I guarantee you he's been knocked out in the gym. He's been fighting all his life. But you only see the performances. So he had a bad performance, got knocked the fuck out, age started catching up with him, whatever the case may be. I'm not no Roy Jones fan, so I was happy he lost. Nah. I just ain't I ain't happy nobody lose. But I wasn't rooting for him. But here's what I'm saying. People didn't believe the math. The math is the fucking math, man. Just because a guy comes along that's super athletic, nobody trained Roy Jones to have the reflexes he has. He was born with that. And the problem was they let him win off of that until he started slipping and fought a guy with the math and took it from him. Doesn't make Roy Jones not great. He's probably the greatest athlete ever boxed. Him and Muhammad Ali, probably the greatest athletes that ever did it. But the math is the math. If you go to believing everybody telling you the greatest thing, when you slip, they gonna tell you you ain't shit, and you're gonna believe that. You got to lose in order to come back and win. Floyd Mayweather been ass whooped in the gym, I promise you. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I watched the night Castillo whooped his ass in the ring, and he got the gift. What he did, he went back to the gym, fixed it, came back and dominated. You know why? Because Floyd Mayweather Jr. he really is as great as what we say. He really is. But he had to meet some competition to get his ass whooped after he thought he was the shit in order to get back in that gym and say, nah, if I'm slipping, somebody could get me just like they got Joe Louis. Right? Same thing. You can't buy into it. So what I say is tell yourself you're great. Absolutely. But prove it to yourself by doing the work and learning the math. Because if you don't, when you lose, you're gonna come back to the gym and you're gonna say, what happened, coach? And I'm gonna tell you, and you're not gonna believe because you're gonna be predicated on bullshit. You're gonna think you couldn't be beat. The worstest thing a fighter could do is think he can't be beat. Every human being can be beat. Joe Louis was knocked out, you can be knocked out. I don't give a fuck if you've never been hurt before in your life and you retire and never hurt. You could have been knocked out. You just worked at your fucking skill and didn't get clipped out. If you don't understand this, it's too much shit going on in boxing, and then there's always that clip clause that you thought you were safe when you wasn't, and some bum knocked you out. Does that mean you're not great? Though that means you was slipping. Get back in the gym and fix the shit. Come back and prove it. That's the difference. Unless you've been beat, how the fuck you know you great? Think about this. Till you face adversity, you're a front runner. Watch this. I wouldn't made the fight for something on purpose with the white girl because I knew she lost. Right? I'm letting y'all in on some shit. I know what Summer is, even if she didn't. Right? Even if she doubted it, even if whatever, I knew. So we find the white girl that she lost to. I think it was a white girl. She was a white girl, right?
Can you say
I don't know.
Was she white?
the first fight that
Anyway,
y'all had?
anyway, tough as nail, great girl. And I talked to her coach and all that.
Jesus.
I want to do it some more. I want to sponsor more. She didn't stop coming. But my point is this girl beat Summer before. Summer had to win this fight, right? In order for this to go the way I wanted it to go, or start the way I wanted to start. She didn't have to win. She could have lost, and I'm gonna still make her one of the greatest fucking women fighters ever. But that's just because I believe in me and don't care what y'all think of me. I really don't care. I don't care what the fans say, the Instagram, nobody. Because why? I've been in the fucking gym 27 years. I know what the fuck I'm doing. So, but I knew when she beats this girl, she'll know, right? And the proof was in the second fight, right? But in this fight, and the girl was coming, I thought we split the first two rounds. She had to win the third round. I said something. I said, do I look excited? No. All right, so stop being excited and go win now. She win one, right? That was very important for that next fight because she was fighting up again as my buddy's girl, 40 fights. He's the Olympic coach, right? But I know what I'm doing. We gonna go down there. All I asked Jeff was, "Is it a fair fight, bro?" He said, "I've had it this much long. Yeah, I watched Summer fight for y'all show. It's a fair fight. Cool, we'll be there because I know what I'm bringing to the ring based on the first one. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling herself, and she was moving and grooving in that second one. I would agree with Summer that the second girl was by far the better boxer, and the first girl was by far the closer fight, right? So it's incremental what we're doing. So you can't believe in. Listen, if you believe you're gonna be the no. Let's say it like this: value. The trick is to value the opinions in boxing of people with one. Does that make sense?
Look, me and Somewhere like
Say it
what?
one more time.
Only value the opinions of boxing people who actually have one. So you need to start thinking, all right, like this. Everybody in the world is proven fighters. It's proven fighters. It's proven trainers throughout boxing, right? Everywhere. Let's take our micro world, this Houston world, right? Let's take the Houston micro world. You should be able to hear a trainer's opinion about yourself and automatically say that shit don't matter. Or the damn, right? How do you do that? Because you two have been around long enough that y'all should have 3 or 4 trainers in y'all mind whose opinions matter and the rest shouldn't. Period. Doesn't matter. Why? Because the fuck did they do? Now, it's easy that somebody can say that about me, right? Because yeah, I got national champions and Quentin's a WBC title holder right now. We ranked in the world and all that shit. So you can see that. And then you could go look at Danger, Trey, Summer. You could look down the line, right? And you can say, oh shit. But then everybody else wants to give you an opinion and you go, well, who this guy did? What did he do? Right? What did he accomplish? Why the fuck are you listening? Why do you care? Right? Like every in Houston, Texas is one of the biggest markets. Certainly the biggest market I ever been at, but it's one of the biggest markets in boxing, period, right? Period. Hands down. From Philly, where a baby girl is, to Cali, to New York, to Houston, Texas is one of those markets. And it's one of the biggest ones, right? It's 3 trainers in Houston. I give a fuck what they say. And maybe five of them that I would say is elite, and 10 of them that I would say they great spots that a kid should go to and learn boxing from. That's it. Does that mean that's all there is? No. But that means that's all I've come across, right? And even as a trainer, I've been in Houston. I opened my first gym in Houston in 2007 in Missouri City, right? I've been here a while. I've seen these coaches at the amateur level, the pro level, all this type of shit. So I see what I see, and then I look. I go past that. I say we got 5 of them here, and then I look at the 3 or 4 in Cali that I know, 2 or 3, because that's really the national stage of boxing. Why do I give a shit about some coach coming into the gym saying, "Hey, coach," and he wants to sit down and talk boxing, and he ain't never taught a dog to sit, man. The fuck do I? Everybody goes to YouTube and watch the same fucking videos. Everybody, listen. When I first came to Houston, and I realized how many people just are training people off them Kenny Weldon title boxing tapes that you order from box. I was like,
I
how
had
is this
one
even
of those.
real? How is this real? Huh?
I had one of those.
See what I'm saying? So, all right. So the answer to that thing is, well, that's Kenny Weldon is that guy, right? He was the great trainer. How the fuck you gonna do that off a videotape, man? How you gonna build a fight off of it? Listen, I'm old school. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. But you got an X amount of people that's gonna know boxing and X amount that don't. And I'm telling y'all, just value the opinions of the guys who have one. That's all I'm saying. And you should and to be honest with you, Summer ain't gonna just leave me and go listen to anybody. I already know. She's gonna laugh and be like, all right, bro, and keep walking. So that's what's going on. And Jiffy, you don't know me long enough and we talk boxing, you gonna do the same shit. Yeah, man, yeah, you don't know nothing, bro. Let me keep it moving. You don't gotta be ugly, you just nod your head and say, okay. Yeah, jab. Okay, I got you. Jab. All
Mhm.
right. Keep it moving, man. So if you value people's opinion, you're gonna give it weight, right? And Okay, Jeff. How long you been boxing, Jeff?
Like 12, 13,
Jiffy, how long you been boxing?
like 13.
13 years. Okay. Of course, no name names or say nothing. How many trainers you know that's worth of shit?
That's worth of
Honest,
shit. Like,
honest to God. How many trainers you know you can see in a world championship title fight and you have confidence that they can handle it?
it's only like 2 or 3 people that I
That's
feel
crazy.
like I've been around boxing, especially boxing like in Texas and
Summer,
Houston.
Jiffy, you at one of the elite, you at the elite gym in fucking Houston. You know, you know. So
And I won't even listen to everybody in there. Like it's only like 2 people that I'll listen to out that gym.
listen, listen. If I told you the times I'm sitting there with so-called trainers and you're watching a conventional and a southpaw fight and they say you gotta get your foot on the outside. I'm like, really, bro? They teach you that shit at the fucking beginning. That's how you learn to hold your hands up, bro. That's what you know about boxing. For
Mm-hmm.
real, that's what you think. So you think Bud's gonna have a problem when you put your foot inside his foot. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you think. You really think that? Okay. But that's my point. Y'all as boxers are gonna get to how I feel. Like, bro, you're saying nothing. You're saying nothing. Everybody knows that. That ain't gonna separate you from the pack. At the top level is what's gonna separate you from the elites is knowing how to deal with these problems differently than what you learned at 10 years old at the amateur boxing gym, right? It is what it is. So what I'm saying is a fighter would do themselves better if they wouldn't value so many things. Not be a jerk, not be an asshole, not be none of those things. But you shouldn't value, you know, everyone's opinion because they don't really have one. They
Yeah,
don't really have one, especially fans. Listen,
yeah. That's
we
something.
live in a world. We live in a world. We live in a boxing, and it's beautiful. Boxing's better than it's ever been in my whole life. Don't let nobody tell you different. Boxing is better right now, even though it's different. Even though the platforms has changed, regular TV contracts ain't what they are. None of those things. It's an ever evolving world. But you know, as boxers, that's how boxing works. Everybody's got their own story. You can't mimic nobody. All the mimics lose. They all lose. They all end up losing. Everybody thought Adrian Broner was the next Floyd Mayweather. No, he wasn't. No,
Mm.
he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Not even almost. And it's shame on y'all fell for it. Shame on y'all for falling for that bullshit. Same thing with like Deontay Wilder. How are you a boxing guy and don't know this guy can't box? Well, you're really not a boxing guy then. You're really not.
Mm.
You're a fan who's not who's enamored with knockouts. That's what we sell to the public so that you buy it. So much so, do, do, do you realize there's a section of fans in this country who thought that no boxing motherfucker couldn't get whooped? And when he got slapped around the fucking ring, it was everybody's fault except the guy kicking his ass. It was the gloves was full of fucking hair wraps and egg weights and all. That's the type of people you can't listen to. You can't listen to them because you're gonna be really in the trenches. You're really gonna be in the gymnasium getting punched in the fucking nose for real. And all that shit they talking about, you gotta think positive and achieve the believe and all that shit. You're gonna have a bloody nose achieving the believe. You
Mm.
better go somewhere and learn the fucking math because it's a right way and a wrong way to fist fight. And you got to learn that shit, bring that drive, bring that work and all that shit to it, and then you'll have success because if shit do go wrong, if you do lose a fight, you do get knocked out, you're not, when you come to and you get your senses and you're not silly no more, you're going to say, I know what I did. I know exactly what I did. I left my fucking hand down when coach said quit fucking leaving my hand down. I went to the right when I should have went to the left. You're gonna know. You're gonna say, wow, I beat me. And that's what I do. I teach fighters that you beat you. Because if they just better than you, what the fuck we doing? Let's go do something else. That means you'll never beat them. They
Yeah.
just better than you. You'll never beat them. Let's go get a job. What you doing? But the truth is that's bullshit. Anybody can be beat. Anybody can be knocked out. Anybody can fucking lose. The greats go back to the gym, fix the shit, never let it happen again, and go whoop that ass. Now maybe you're losing somebody else, right? And the super greats do it in the ring. The super greats are the Evander Holyfields, the Floyd Mayweathers, right? Shit ain't going right. They get clipped, they get hurt, they get wobbled, they get their senses, they get their wits about them, and they never make that same mistake again. It's really that simple. I mean, it's real not simple, but it's really that logical. And if you're not breaking it down to that, then you're not on that same. You're not on that elite level because at the elite level, what's the difference, Jim? Who knows the math? That's all that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get listen, when you walking out to that ring, if you're not running through my head, if you're not running through your head, all right, I gotta touch this guy, I gotta watch my height, I gotta keep right here, make sure he tells on himself, I gotta see what he does first, which way he wants to step, what hand he wants to throw first. If you're not thinking about that walking to the ring and you're thinking about some bullshit, come on, we gotta do it and thinking about your favorite song and shit and trying to hype yourself up, oh, we in fucking trouble. We in trouble because if this is an elite girl, she's thinking not about Jiffy, not about Summer. She's thinking about what she's about to do, right? I'm going out there. I got to touch her. I got to make sure this girl's fast. I got to make sure. That's what she's thinking. It's the little things. The big things that take care of themselves. It's the little things. Listen, we need the opponent to have a fight. If the other girl don't show up, we can't even fight, right? They just necessary. I don't give a fuck how big and ugly they are. That shit don't matter. Mean mugging ain't never whooped nobody. You know, so
Mm,
so
mm, mm, mm,
don't waste a day practicing looking tough. Don't waste a day practicing looking tough.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Practice your boxing. Cause that's what we gonna need to get this ugly motherfucker off us. Right? That's the difference. So you don't buy into them social media, you don't buy into the fans, never. Whenever somebody's telling you, in fact, whenever whenever somebody's telling you y'all great, say Allah's great. Oh God, whatever y'all say, God. Allah is great. I'm just a fighter. That's what I do. Because truth is, like Ali said, the minute you don't know God's the greatest, he'll humble you. Think about that. Think about the champ, man. The champ was the mouth of the South, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about Ali. Ali, we talking about you great. Who was the king of telling everybody he was great long before he was great, right? And look at the end, how he wasn't talking and stuff. He was still an example to us. But look how God will humble you and remind you who's the greatest,
Yeah.
right? Like that, man. One day you think you're great, and one day you live in a country that's getting bombed, right? So fuck,
Mhm.
that's just
I don't even listen to compliments no more. Don't tell me nothing about myself. Don't tell me, oh, you threw a good jab. I don't want to hear it. You the
yeah.
great. I don't
It make it a habit to say thank you, but I'm trying to be great. All
yeah.
right,
I
yeah,
don't
and then post your flyer shit
yeah.
because the truth is people don't know what humble is anyway. So don't mind those people neither.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen, Summer. I'm saying don't listen to the people who say you the greatest thing they ever seen. Just like I'm telling you, don't listen to the same people who say, "Oh, you gotta be humble. Don't be talking like that. You don't need to say that." Don't listen to their ass either. They full of shit too. They just as full of shit as them other guys. You know why? Because they just want you to be small. Because you're making them feel little. So that's all that shit is. Listen, the absent The absence of humiliation, you can't even be great. If you don't risk it all, how can you be great? How can how can Joe Louis be Joe Louis unless he got in the fucking ring with that Nazi who knocked him out and beat his ass in a round? How could it? You think Joe Louis wasn't afraid? You don't think he was scared? In the 1940s, black folks couldn't even eat in fucking restaurants and shit. And here the president of the United States is calling this man, telling him, son, I need you to whoop this man for God in your
Mhm.
country.
That's pressure.
That's more pressure than all three of us and probably everybody we ever knew, ever faced. Ever.
Yep.
Not only did he demolish this guy, he did it with the world on his back. That's greatness. And you know what Joe Louis would say? Thank you. And walk away. Right? That's because he know what it took to get like that. You can't buy into that shit, man. I don't buy into it. Listen, you don't run them away. You need the fans. This is a listen. At Summer's level right now, it's still a sport. At Jiffy's level, it's a business pretending to be a sport.
Yeah.
Everybody says that, but it's kind of like sweet science. People say the sweet science, but they can't give you a single fucking equation. But they steady talking about the sweet science. It's just something to say. Well, people say that too about about that. They don't know the depth of that shit, man. What it takes and what y'all do every day. When I get to the gym at 6:30 and it's 114 degrees and Summer's already been there an hour, sweating and stinking and shit. You know what I'm saying? Almost. You don't even got the right to tell me what you think of me. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even got the right to tell me, but since it's a business, thank you, right? Because I need you to buy the tickets. That's what it's about. Cause don't sell tickets and they don't care. Bob Arum let Bud Crawford go for $1 a month. You know that, right? You realize that, right? This shit is not a sport, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not a sport.
There's such a big
It
difference
didn't
between amateur and pros.
it didn't matter that Bud Crawford is probably the greatest fighter of his generation. He let him go. And look what he done did. He let him go, and in 3 fights, look what he done did, right? Why? Because it's $1 a month. We got to the point where it's not worth me paying you this because I'm not going to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a sport, it would just matter that he was the best, right? It's not. It's not. Promoters, managers, and that's why it doesn't make no sense. It always starts. It always starts with the trainer and the fighter. That's it. We know what we're doing. We know what we're working on. We know what the fuck we putting out in this thing before these managers come, before these promoters come, before these matchmakers come, because they'll tell you the greatest thing till it's the time to tell the next one. It's the greatest thing,
Mm-hmm.
or lose, or just lose. Lose is over with. So yeah, I don't listen to him.
Well, you went off on a tangent. I don't even remember what we talked. What got us there?
Talking about somebody said they thought somebody had an attitude or something, and I didn't see it, but
Oh yeah.
but persona, because of what you put out there, you
Hmm.
give them when you put it out there, they have the chance to give you their opinion.
I
You
think
made
what
it
people don't realize too is that like social media is not real life. It's
at
just
all.
and we put out what we want people to see. Like it's our personalities. It's not who we are. It's just our. It's not our business. It's our personality. And honestly, it really doesn't matter what people think. You're gonna have people who support you, and you're gonna have people who don't support you for
Just
what.
nobody's posting their losses. Just nobody.
Well, shit, I did.
No, I'm saying that's the difference, though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the difference. I will too. I'll
yeah.
put having a bad day. I tore up my car, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But That's not. That's not.
Right, yeah. The majority, like 90% of people reflect on social media the wins and not the losses. But
Just
and that's when you start to realize too, like being a marketable athlete or like branding and social media matters in the professional level, in the business level, because you want to be able uh to sell yourself and get endorsements and get sponsorships and be able to represent companies and things like that. And that's like a whole nother conversation for another day. That's actually one of our episodes. But I do have I just got like one more question and then we can wrap it up. I usually don't like to go past an hour, but and I hear my kids, they want to get out that room.
Mm.
So Summer, what is the best compliment that you've ever received?
Just period.
Yeah.
Oh man. Probably compliments about like my personality, or and when somebody tell me like, "Oh, you're funny," like I love that. Like I like people telling me things about my personality, like they'll say I have good energy or things like that, or but boxing compliment, probably them saying something like, "Oh dang, I never seen a girl do this," or whatever, stuff like that. But in the back of my mind, I'd be like, "Bro, that's national champions out here. I ain't did nothing yet, trust me." But I don't say that, of course. But yeah, I just stay humble in that. But a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, ain't nobody messing with you. Ain't nobody messing with you." I'm like, "Cause I'm the only girl boxer you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's other women out here that's accomplishing some crazy things, like going out to other countries and winning gold medals." So
That's good though, like holding yourself to that standard. I remember being in college and we used to write papers and we'll have like our peer review them and they'll give me my paper back and it wouldn't have any marks on it. And they're like, "Oh, it's perfect." I'm like, "Y'all are tripping. I need to get out of this class." Like,
yeah,
y'all set me up for failure.
yeah,
Like, and that goes back to what Derek was saying. Like, we can listen to what people are saying, but we don't have to believe it because you know that
exactly.
you know where you want to be. You know, you've seen people represent what eventually you want to achieve. So
Yeah, and I know we're 37 minutes past, but I'm gonna say one last thing. I know that like at the beginning stages, and I haven't even reached the beginning, so I kind of hate saying that. But in the beginning of everything, uh, in the beginning of everything, I think I started off the mindset I started off with. It was good, but it was not good at the same time, because like I said, I was self-proclaiming something, even though that's really how I felt and that's really what I want to accomplish. I think that I should have well, everything happens for a reason, but I should have maybe not came on so harsh about how I felt about myself, because this is what was being put into my head from outside sources. "Oh, you're this, you're that." So yeah, that I look back at that and I'd be like, dang, sometimes I wish I could have maybe said some things different or not put this out there, you know. But and I'm gonna just kind of clean up what I was saying at the beginning, about like, Coach said it. I had to go through all those hard times and those hard training sessions, those long nights, those early mornings, to become the fighter that I am, and to have that grit, that courage, and those things, the work ethic and all of that. That's instilled in me now. It was hard to acquire it, but anything that is worth it. So I'm glad that I got through that, and I'm thankful that I had those type of people in my life to push me that way, because I didn't want to make it sound like it's just like, oh, negative, negative, negative. But sometimes that's how it may be perceived. So yeah, I'm just blessed, and I'm thankful for everything that I started out with.
yeah, our journey is our journey for a reason. Like
Yeah.
whether it's perceived as good or bad. Like, you know, you don't know what the good days look like until you've experienced the bad ones. And
Yeah, exactly.
and one thing I would say to you is forgive yourself for whatever you feel like, oh, I wish I would have did differently or whatever. Like, you know, you did what you did, you were who you were, you've evolved from that. No one's opinion really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, especially they ain't saying it to my face. So hey,
Yeah.
they ain't tripping.
I don't think she said nothing bad on here. And then they definitely don't want to know what I'm putting into her head.
Because you know
Yeah,
how
bigger
people
than that.
think, like when people got their emotions and tired and stuff, they're like, oh,
Yeah, no. I
you know.
understand that, girl. I understand.
And you know
But
what? You'll probably do a million other interviews. And by the time you get to, you know, the top tier interviews, your story is going to still be your story, but you'll be able to articulate it in a different manner where you don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
So,
fuck them.
Get me in trouble.
No, that's just how he talked. But I thank you so much for joining me early in the morning, answering all of my questions.
Great questions. Yeah, I love this type of stuff because I know this is going to be golden one day. So definitely got to lay the tracks. So I ain't tripping.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have like any final words to anybody watching and any advice for?
Yeah. Okay. My final words are thank you, God. Thank you. You know, I've started recently when I recently started first boxing. Recently got back in the gym. I started building my relationship with God because at first I didn't have one. I thought that you wake up and this is what life is, but I tried to let me let God into my life, even though that's already there, but I just trying to build that relationship and it's been working for me. I feel like that's what I was supposed to do. So I'm just thankful for that. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful, period. And I know what I want to do in my life and I know who I want to be and I know the goals that I want, but I got to go out there and I got to fight. I got to perform for everything that I say I want to do. So that's all there is from now. That's this type of chapter. It's just proving everything.
Okay. Yeah. Garrett, do you have any final messages?
No, man, don't take no wooden nickels. I ain't got nothing. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm ready to go eat.
All right. Well,
it was fun. When you coming home, baby?
On September 1st, I'll be back next Saturday. She's actually in labor right now.
She said, I'm going to PA. I was thinking Port Arthur. She was talking about Pennsylvania.
I know. I ain't never been on the East Coast. This is crazy. It's so different over here.
Well, try to check out some boxing gyms while you're out.
I surely am.
Talking about yesterday, yeah.
I am.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to follow your journey, where can they find you?
Instagram, Summer Polk 11. Pretty simple. But that's where I'm mainly at. And I'm trying to do some TikTok stuff, but I don't really care about TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was already like, that's what I'm saying. Like my first little sequence, my first little chapter of boxing, it was I was trying to gain. I thought that's something you had to have. Like I thought like, okay, you gotta have some type of people supporting you with you. So I would post a lot of stuff. And I don't do that no more. I will, but I think everything got to come from the fights now. So I just let the fights do what it do. Post stuff here and there. But yeah, I'll eventually get back into that one day.
Yeah. You'll start to see when it's important. Like on a professional level, it's a little bit. You got skills fighting flies.
I'll tell you, hey, when it's a fly, I'll be every time. That's a little game for me.
All right. Well, thank y'all for coming on and
That was
sharing.
fun. This is definitely fun. Hour and some quarters. I love talking to y'all, so I ain't got nothing to do.
All right. Well, you have fun out there.
Yes, I will. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for this
Love you, man.
interview. Yeah. This
All
is
right.
gonna have a lot of views one day.
Yes, it will.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you, Summer. You too.
All right.